so as to attain excellence in politics? What are the three important lessons to learn and derive inspiration from the life of one of the greatest heroes in India's history, Swami Vivekananda? But firstly, in this regard, what is the depth of relevance of this preeminent, pristine, and powerful patriot, Swami Vivekananda? Annually, 12th of January, the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda as per the Gregorian calendar is celebrated as the National Youth Day, and the whole week commencing from that day as the National Youth Week. This year, Belur Mutt, the headquarters of Ramakrishna Mutt and Ramakrishna Mission, is celebrating the 161st birthday of Swami Vivekananda as per the Hindu calendar on the 14th of January. So today, the auspicious day of Swami Vivekananda Jayanti is that very powerful day meant for every Indian, especially for the youth of the nation, to love India and to arise, awake and stop not till the goal is reached. When the government of India declared that every year henceforth the 12th of January would be observed as the National Youth Day, it remarked, "It was felt that the philosophy of Swamiji and the ideals for which he lived and worked could be a great source of inspiration for the Indian youth." So, the ultimate aim of this national festival is to inspire Indians to, number one, collectively offer our tributes to this charismatic son of Mother India who lived his whole life by selflessly serving the nation and the creation. Develop understanding about the eternal, exalted and conscience appealing contributions of Swami Vivekananda for India and humanity, and most importantly, to make a deep resolve to consistently strive towards manifesting the inner beauty and greatness, and to dutifully dedicate all of it for serving this Punya Bhumi, Bharata. Moreover, the importance of the National Youth Day in the current times is particularly unprecedented in view of India being one of the youngest nations of the world, wherein the youth constitute about 65% of the country's population. Swami Vivekananda, in his short life of just 39 years, made cosmic contributions, wherein, in the words of the Honorable former Vice President of India, Sri M. Venkaiah Naidu, the Swami was an enlightened spiritual preacher who brought Vedanta and Yoga to the West while infusing a strong sense of patriotism among Indians during the colonial British rule. Through his historic speech at the Parliament of World Religions, he communicated the correct and accurate meaning of Hinduism and its way of life. He acted like a bridge between the East and the West and played a pivotal role in strengthening the spiritual foundation of mankind. The greatness of Swami Vivekananda's impact on awakening the national consciousness during the Indian freedom struggle is clearly reflected in the words of some of the most prominent freedom fighters. When Mahatma Gandhi visited Belur Mutt in 1921, he wrote in the visitor's book, "I have come here to pay my homage and respect to the revered memory of Swami Vivekananda. I have gone through his works very thoroughly, and after having gone through them, the love that I had for my country became 1,000-fold. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose once said, "The foundation of the present freedom movement owes its origin to Swamiji's message. If India is to be free, it cannot be a land, especially of Hinduism or of Islam. It must be one united land of different religious communities inspired by the ideal of nationalism." These were Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore's words during his conversation with the Nobel laureate Romain Rolland. If you want to know India, study Vivekananda. In this backdrop, on this pristine occasion of the SWAMI VIVEKANANDA JAYANTI and the National Youth Week, the youth aspiring to enter politics to serve this great nation can enormously empower themselves through the teachings and life of Swami Vivekananda. So, one of the critical lessons for an aspiring politician to learn and derive inspiration from the life of Swami Vivekananda is the empower and facilitate philosophy of leadership. It is the policy of empowering and facilitating the team members. This is important for an aspiring politician in view of the tremendous competition in Indian politics and also the long-standing reality about selfish politicians who, out of jealousy or a sense of insecurity, tend to create hindrances to the progress of his own colleagues, especially the top performers. However, that would only result in collective defeat because power of a team is the cumulative power of each and every team member and not that of solely a single individual or a few of them. Apparently, unity of a group of persons is such an exalted virtue whenever teamwork comes into play. One of the important principles of teamwork is the philosophy of empower and facilitate. Dr. R. Balasubramaniam explains about this critical leadership facet of Swami Vivekananda. Dr. R. Balasubramaniam is the founder and president of Swami Vivekananda Youth Movement. He is a member of the Academic Advisory Board of the Indian Institute of Democratic Leadership, Rambhau Malgi Prabodhini. He is a faculty at IIT Delhi and Cornell University, the USA, and he is also a member of the Capacity Building Commission of the Government of India. According to him, Swami Vivekananda was not only an inspirational leader but was also a very pragmatic one. He constantly endeavored to empower all those around him. In dealing with his brother disciples and followers, he evoked what is today popularly known in the management world as the Pygmalion effect. Management expert J. Sterling Livingston describes it as the effect of enabling subordinates to excel in response to the leader's expectation of them. Dr. R. Balasubramaniam further explains that Swami Vivekananda had chosen empower and facilitate philosophy over command and control long before modern management realized its potential. For example, in 1895 in London, Swami Vivekananda was to give a public lecture and he had come to London with Swami Saradananda. When it was time to stand up and speak, Swami Vivekananda suddenly announced that Swami Saradananda would deliver the speech instead of him. Though taken by surprise, Saradananda did an excellent job that day and thereafter too. Swami Vivekananda had realized that all Saradananda needed was a little push and an expression of faith in him to bolster his self-confidence. So, trust plays an important part in the process. If the leader does not trust his followers, he will use control instead of empowerment. Swami Vivekananda while exhorting his disciples to the highest levels of work, had the fullest trust in them and their abilities. His urge to motivate people around him to aspire for higher levels of performance can be seen from this letter to his direct disciple Swami Shuddhananda in 1897. He writes, "Every one of you must be a giant. Must. This is my word. Obedience, readiness, and love for the cause. If you have these three, nothing can hold you back." So, leaders empower their followers by believing in them and they rise to greatness as a result. Swami Vivekananda not only had a high expectation of his followers, but he also communicated that to them clearly, thus eliciting a high level of performance. J. Carla Notcutt, who is the CEO at New Century Leadership, the USA, had once made an interesting remark. She said, "The goal of many leaders is to get people to think more highly of the leader. The goal of a great leader is to help people to think more highly of themselves." According to Dr. R. Balasubramaniam, this is perhaps the best description of Swami Vivekananda, the greatest leader of our times. The second important lesson for an aspiring politician to learn and derive inspiration from the life of Swami Vivekananda is that of soundness of physical health and fitness. One of the most challenging aspects for being a successful politician pertains to having the ability to walk a lot so as to directly interact with the people. The popularity of Padayatras in the Indian political landscape has been long-standing. One of the most famous such yatras is the Dandi March led by Mahatma Gandhi. In his last address, the former Vice President of India, Shri M. Venkaiah Naidu, said, "The key to my rise from an ordinary farmer's son to the second highest constitutional post in the country lies in sheer hard work, single-minded devotion, and constant travel and interaction with the people in every part of the country. I have learned a lot by meeting and talking to the people. Without soundness of physical health and fitness, such interactions with people become impossible. Physical health and fitness is more about a way of life and not a temporary activity, because it takes years of consistent effort and discipline to build good physical health and fitness." About this physical aspect of personality, Swami Vivekananda's vision for Indians was ambitious. He once said, "My countrymen should have nerves of steel, muscles of iron, and minds like thunderbolt." Lastly, and most importantly, for an aspiring politician in India, the foremost aspect to derive inspiration from the life of Swami Vivekananda is to love India. One of the Western disciples of Swami Vivekananda, Sister Christine, wrote in her reminiscences, "Our love for India came to birth, I think, when we first heard him say the word India in that marvelous voice of his. It seems incredible that so much could have been put into one small word of 5 letters. There was love, passion, pride, longing, adoration, tragedy, chivalry, himway, and again love. Whole volumes could not have produced such a feeling in others. It had the magic power of creating love in those who heard it." This is predominant because in order to attain excellence as a political leader, it is important to have not only that motivation which comes unendingly from within, but also the motivation that emanates out of the purest intent of love. It is this kind of motivation that not only enables a politician to remain inspired and hopeful in overcoming the toughest of crises, but also drastically impacts the thinking process at each and every moment towards making such thoughts in absolute harmony with the true purpose attached to the role of every politician. That is the noble purpose of serving the nation. In case of inadequacy of inner and pure motivation, the thinking process of a politician proportionately comes into conflict time and again with the true purpose that a politician ought to be devoted to, definitely resulting in underperformance. The supreme power of such inner purity is clearly reflected in the words that Swami Vivekananda said out of his deep conviction. Truth, purity, and unselfishness. Wherever these are present, there is no power below or above the sun to crush the possessor thereof. Equipped with these, one individual is able to face the whole universe in opposition. Another such thought of Swami Vivekananda emphasizes on the supremacy of inner purity in comparison to other forms of power. He once said, "Neither money pays, nor name, nor fame, nor learning. It is character that cleaves through the adamantine walls of difficulties." The magical yet practical impact of the teachings and life of Swami Vivekananda on the youth of this great nation, Bharata, is reflected in these golden words stated by the head of government of the world's largest democracy. देश को समर्पित हर नौजवान स्वामी विवेकानंद का स्वरूप. Salutations to thee, His Holiness and His Excellency, Swami Vivekananda. Vande Mataram.